Literally our first little episode. Who would have thought?
Cheers!
Fucking hell. Who are we going to scare first? That's actually...
What would you like to talk about first?
I think...
Would you like to take the stage first?
I think we should talk about... My first ever video that I did was about social services and false reporting. And I got like 120,000 views. There were so many comments I couldn't even keep up. All saying
why they do this.
All saying the same. And reporting somebody to social services isn't a criminal offence if it's malicious. They get away with it. They can do absolutely whatever they want and they can get away with it. And yeah, I was one of those victims as well.
But this has been going on. The whole like reporting of social services in the army for like, this has been going on for so long, years and years and years and years they've been doing this. Yeah. And when you said this, I couldn't believe that they're still doing this as a form of like attack and bullying tactics.
Yeah. I've never even met the woman. So I moved into my SFA with my husband on the 28th of September 2021 after Cyprus. And everything, was normal. I didn't really leave the house much because I had a newborn and it's London and I've never lived in London and it's fucking scary as shit when you've never lived in a big city like that.
Yeah, especially it's a huge culture shock for some people. Especially
the area. It's not exactly. We were told. We were literally told to be on our guard the entire time because where we live is in between two rival gangs.
Yeah, and it's where the guy, that poor Lee Rigby was decapitated.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so I drive past this memorial pretty much every day. And that's where I live. So obviously we were absolutely shit scared. So I didn't leave the house anyway much. I had a newborn and obviously we live in a rough area. And then I randomly got a phone call. It was the most bizarrest thing. I randomly got a phone call and I was in my garden and my daughter was playing in the garden.
Yeah.
And it was social services. And I'm like, hello, Gazar. We've had a report that you are being abused. And I laughed down the phone.
You're being abused.
I was being abused. So I laughed down the phone. I'm like, okay. It's like, here we go again, round 2. And she goes, oh, who's... So, well, that's my husband.
Right.
And she goes, oh, no, it's your husband that's being abused. I'm like...
By who?
Me! And I was like, here we go again. So my husband's ex-boss, his old OC King,
right.
He decided that he didn't like that my husband put in a service complaint, and he bypassed every single protocol that their army has.
Yeah.
Went to the police and told them that I was abusing my husband. He said that my husband was sleeping on the sofa. Didn't know that you were in my house, but okay. That I was forcing him to use laundromates on camp in Cyprus, which, by the way, is for free if you know how to fucking use it properly. So we used that every Sunday because we had super king size bedding.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit in a normal washing machine. Yeah. So every Sunday we would do the laundry. So I would use it, he would use it. But yeah, apparently him doing that, meant that he was being abused. And then he said that I was financially abusing my husband. And I actually laughed in the social worker's face. I was like, who's the one that's been getting paid every month? That would be me, because since 2018, he hadn't been paid properly.
Oh, okay.
So, but there have been months where we got no money. Or there was months that we got £200 or £400, or £600. We did not know at all when we were going to get paid. So obviously when that phone call came, I just thought, yes, again, it's PWR. And then she said, and then the social worker said, is your husband going to jail? And I'm like, why? Why would he be going to jail?
Is he? Why? I don't know this.
And I was like,
this is new to me.
And she goes, oh, he's going for a court martial.
Why?
And that's when I knew it wasn't the army, it was an army wife. So when I was pregnant in Cyprus, the army were being absolute fucking arseholes. And they tried to have me sectioned to have me removed.
I remember you saying you're doing a video like this,
to have me removed from the island. And you know, to feed their agenda. It didn't work because it was so fucking ridiculous. I was sat in a shrink's office and I literally said to him, I was like, I know why I'm here. I know what's freaking going on. I'm not freaking stupid. And then I told him absolutely everything I knew about absolutely everybody. And I was like, we can continue doing this, and you can section me, and you can do whatever you want. But I'm the wrong army wife to fuck with.
Or I'm going to sing like a damn canary.
It's like, you can do whatever you want. It's like, watch me. It's like, push me far enough and see what happens. Obviously, I was let go to go back home because, you know, I am not mentally unstable. Not the way that they were trying to make out anyway. And I was driven home again in the ambulance. My husband wasn't allowed to be in the ambulance. He had to take his own transport back, why? So I was talking to him the entire time via text. And he goes, I'm not allowed home. I'm like, what are you talking about? So he was giving an Agai 81.
Why?
And I got, well, for his protection.
What, against you?
We don't actually know. Because bearing in mind, they tried to convince me that I was going to kill myself and I was going to kill my baby. The next minute, my husband isn't allowed to be at home and I should be home alone.
Oh, that makes complete sense, right? Doesn't it?
Doesn't it? And all these fucking bitches, because how they did it was very clever. They made a massive scene outside of my house, and on Normandy Road, where I live, 61 Normandy Road, it is past both schools. So you have to go past my house to go to the primary school and the secondary school. So everybody saw what was going on. The fucking shit that these wives were talking about.
Why were they making a scene? What were they doing?
Trying to have me sectioned. Trying to embarrass me enough to leave. And I was on the phone to my friend the entire time. And I said to the cop, I was like, go and get a court order then to have me sectioned.
So they rung the police to see if they could get you sectioned. On what grounds? That you were going to kill yourself and your child?
And my baby, yeah. Because I didn't believe them saying that my baby was going to die without medical evidence.
And why do you think that those wives did that to you?
Because they're cunts. Quite honestly, because they're cunts.
You can't use that word on YouTube.
I can. I'll just bleep it. But
there must have been a reason. What was their trigger?
The service complaint.
Oh, the service. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got you now.
Yeah, the service complaint was the trigger. So when the social worker said court martial, I knew it was an army wife because a soldier and
you wouldn't use that term. Yeah.
A soldier knows what court martial is, an army wife necessarily wouldn't.
Yeah.
And Elliot was charged. So this was 2 days before COVID was another COVID lockdown.
We're going to do a whole thing on COVID, baby.
Another fucking COVID lockdown. So in Cyprus, you had to text to leave your house, and if you didn't have a response back, you had to wait, right? But also, I'm pregnant. I had SBD, and I was in pain when I was walking.
Sepsis. Yeah, that's what I had with Harry.
Yeah, I was really bad.
That's so painful because they your pelvis is going to break.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had to have a C-section.
Yeah, it was the most painful thing I've ever had. And the midwife was the most ridiculously ever come across in my life. I asked them for a pregnancy belt.
Yeah.
I don't even know where we keep those. You're the head midwife. Why don't you?
I'll make you feel better. NHS, I got back from having my C-section and the belt was on the doormat that I'd been asking for 6 months from the NHS. So I'll just make you feel a little bit better there.
It doesn't. It just shows how awful but fucking maternity care is.
Awful, yeah.
It's just absolutely insane. And then Elliot, so we went shopping, right? We went to Lidl, we went shopping, and then we told the OC and everybody else, welfare, social worker, we are going shopping. Elliot's going to be taking my shopping into the house because I can't fucking carry liters and liters of anything, right? And we have in Cyprus, you can't drink out the normal water, tap water, so you have these coolers. carry one of those.
Yeah.
While you're pregnant, it just doesn't happen. So the welfare officer, Captain fucking Jason Thomas, that man needs stringing up by his stupid fucking mediocre ball sacks.
Hello, Captain Thomas. How are you? Are you fine, Captain Thomas?
Oh, that man is vile. Fucking vile. Fucking wannabe officer. He is an officer, obviously, but he's not an officer. Like, he is, but...
What's his rank?
Captain. But he acts like he's some fucking imbecile from I don't know, the 1700s or something.
Paddington Bear.
Oh my god, the dumbest man.
Rupert the Bear.
With this stupid fucking slit over there or something like that. And he just gives me the fucking creeps. But he drove past our house. He saw us. He saw us go shopping. And then he saw us obviously come back, and he saw Elliot take the shopping in. The welfare officer, who is in charge of, making sure that our welfare is okay, right? On a weekend, then calls, it's the CO. Oh my God, he broke his AG 81. Right. So he got charged for breaking his AG 81 for bringing in my shopping, right? So obviously we went against that because don't be so fucking ridiculous. Why are you charging him? For taking in shopping.
Another level of excessive and petty, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, right? Because this man, right, Captain Thomas didn't believe that I became a hairdresser during COVID, because like all the other wives who were just, slagging each other off or whatever not else, I was actually flying back and forth to Basildon to do my fucking hairdressing course.
Oh, right.
So, I wasn't one of the lazy ones. And obviously, how dare you not be lazy within the army? As an army wife, you have to,
your whole house has to smell of bleach and polish.
Yeah, and go to fucking all the cover
all the time. Used to use.
And then it took forever. And then we had the summary appeal, which is in front of a judge. Basically, he then decides
to appeal this AGI.
Yeah, to appeal this AGI. He was never going to be going to Colchester or whatever not else. That was PWR's plan.
To ship him off to Colchester, what, the glass house you're talking about?
Yeah, they wanted to ship him to fucking jail for taking in my shopping. They wanted to sack him.
I wonder why they want.
Oh,
this sounds like they wanted to almost get rid of him you were by yourself.
Absolutely. But when the social worker said, Collie, I'm like, it's an army wife. So I then rattled off 5 names, right? Who I knew had been talking shit about me. And she goes, no, it's none of them, but I can't really tell you anyway, right? Half an hour later, I get a phone call off my friend. And she goes, I've just been to the baby group. This has happened, blah, 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 blah. But she didn't tell me any names. I had no idea who it was. We went to the padre. He goes, just let social in. It's fine. Fuck off. And then the CO didn't give a shit. The OC didn't give a shit. Nobody gave a fucking shit. And then I left it. I was like, you know what? Fine. Fuck off. I'm never going to find out who it is. So I literally genuinely left it. And then there was this army wife that just appeared out of nowhere. And these wives that just have to cause drama.
Yeah, because they're bored.
Yeah, right. And she was leaving anyway. So she came around my house and like how we had a brew and stuff. And then she goes, I know who called social on you. And I'm like,
I'd be like, excuse me?
And I'm pregnant. So
wow.
I'm pregnant with my 3rd kid.
They're doing all this whilst you're pregnant.
Right? And but nobody knew I was pregnant because they treated me like shit in Cyprus with the pregnancy. I kept my pregnancy hidden until we had to tell the army I was pregnant due to paternity leave.
Yeah.
So I think I was 6 months pregnant when they found out I was pregnant. Right?
I bet they loved you.
Fucking hit that fucking well, didn't I? But all of this, but isn't it funny how, I was going to kill myself and my baby and everybody else around me, apparently, yet they took away my medical entitlement on the 27th of June, 2021. And I never saw a shrink since then, or
It just went away.
it went away.
As it does. In
All
the
of a
army.
sudden. I wasn't this big, massive deal
It's
anymore.
disappeared.
Right, but we are.
Girl, right? She said to you in your kitchen, I know who's dogged you in. And so what happened? What did you do then? Did you be like, you better fucking tell me now?
Yep. She got the she just tells me, and I'm like, who is that?
Oh, you don't even know who it is.
I didn't fucking know the woman.
So it's like some weird stalker that's been twitching and the curtains and stuff on the estate.
So I was like, who is that? She goes, oh, the ginger one. I know. I know. And I was like, right. And let's call her Chloe Masters, for storytelling purposes.
Okay.
And I was like, what is her problem? I've never even fucking seen the woman. She was my neighbor. We were neighbors for a year, mate. I've never fucking seen the woman. So it was her.
So you've never spoken to her?
Never spoken to her.
She's just observed you for a year as a neighbour, and then all of a sudden she's dogged you in. Well, not dogged you in. She's reported you for something that isn't true to social services.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is an army wife.
Welcome to Army Wife Life.
A good 70% of them anyway.
Literally. And so I'm not two-faced like everybody else. Every single one of those girls, because it was 3 of them. One of them I don't think has anything to do with it per se. She was just there at the wrong time.
I'm just in the background.
Exactly.
I'm just an extra.
Her friend, let's call her Jasmine Mundy for storytelling purposes. That woman is sly as fuck. I have known that woman for 10 years. That woman is the slyest piece of shit I've ever fucking come across in my life. Funny enough, she's naturally ginger. She just dyes her hair blonde. I haven't got much hope with ginger people here, babes.
Go on.
And so I messaged all 3 of them. I'm not going to mention the other girl's fake name because she had nothing to do with it in the end. But I messaged her. I was like, I fucking know it was you.
What did she say? What did she say?
She blew my phone up.
What did she say? Like, how fucking dare you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Accusing me.
Pretty much, right? But the fucking idiot. So they're both idiots, right? They are both fucking idiots. So I messaged her, 3 messages in total, to see how she would. I do things very calculated sometimes, right?
You have to be.
Just to make them dig their own hole. And the bitch dug her own hole within fucking message number 2. And then she then sent her friend, Jasmine Mundy, a message. And Jasmine Mundy was so kind enough to screenshot it me and send it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
So you got a mole in the
like,
ranks.
well,
got a mole in
yeah,
the group.
but Jasmine is Chloe's best friend. So that was a little faux pas on her fucking
best friend.
So that was a faux pas on her side because I was not meant to fucking see that fucking screenshot.
So this was all like, I didn't do it. Did she say that she didn't do it? Or did
she absolutely denied
it's not
it.
Me.
Absolutely denied it.
How dare you accuse me of such a thing?
But blew my phone up. She tried to call me. She was texting me and blah, blah, blah,
that
blah,
just
blah.
Screams guilt.
I'm pregnant, by the way. I'm like, this is like 7 days before I give birth.
Oh my God.
Right.
So they know you're pregnant.
Yeah. At this point, everybody knows I'm pregnant. Yeah. And she's blowing up my phone and I am sat there with like 3 other wives in my living room and we are pissing ourselves laughing, going with each text, another fucking hole dug. And I'm like, you're not making it any easier for you. And then I left it. I had my baby, breech at home without a midwife, just shows how amazing the freaking NHS is, how exactly I knew how it would go. That's why I refused to give birth with my second in England, because I knew it was going to go into be a shit experience, and shocker fucking horror it was. I gave birth to a breech baby at home without a midwife and no painkillers.
Was there any?
Because
that's really.
I didn't ask her. She offered. And I said, no, it's fine. I don't trust army wives. I don't, because they're all fucking cunts. I have not ever come across a general fucking army wife in my fucking life because they're only your friends until you don't serve them anymore. And I will be fucking spilling the fucking tea, like
It's
fucking
really hard,
crazy.
and people don't understand this, and this is what, you know, just for everybody watching, this is why we wanted to do this, because a lot of civilians don't understand the dynamics of living on a base, or the dynamics of army wives in the UK, right? Let's just take that little nugget. They think that we all get along, and they think that everything's perfect. They think that
there's all this support.
There's loads of support. They think
zero.
that, you know, we hold like coffee mornings and all, which they do, but it's just a bitch fest, you know. And they think that everything's perfect and we're well off. That's another thing I get by civvies. They all think we're really well off. They think that we're paid loads of money. They think that we have the white picket fence, 3.2 children, everything's perfect. And the only terrible thing is, you know, is that we have to say goodbye to our husbands when they go away. Oh, and we have to look at a picture frame and go, oh my God, I love you so much. And we write blueies. I miss
oh my God, blueies, fucking hell.
Days until you come back. And yes, you do. If you are in love with someone, yeah, you do have messages and you do write messages, but it's not like that. It's not like that.
No.
And civvies need to understand that there is a lot of, I think discourse is the right word to use, between military wives.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of antagonistic, bitchy behaviour between army wives.
Yeah.
I still don't really understand it. I never understood it when I was in. I was so shocked with what happened to me, because I was under that civvy impression, oh my God, I'm finally going to make loads of friends, and I'm going to have like this big, this camaraderie of friends around me.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I'm going to have support, and it's going to be fine. You know, we're going to do things together. And no.
Yeah.
No.
And so I then, she called the police on me a week after I gave birth to my son for malicious communication. Yeah.
What, that you'd sent her?
Those 3 messages apparently consisted of malicious communication.
Right. Sorry. Do you not think that the civilian police have, this is the civil police,
mm-hmm.
Do you not think that they have enough on their plate to actually deal with at the moment in near enough central London than a text message that you thought was a bit spicy? Yeah. Like, really? Do you not, does it not go into their brains of what those police officers actually say and do when they put that phone down?
She's a narcissistic cunt. So
when they think, I've got to do this because it's a call, it's come in, and I've got to act on it. This is a complete waste of my time and my day.
So I was sat in the living room. I was sat in the kitchen with my baby boy, toddler running around. The door knocks. It was like 5:30 at night, and I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?" Here we go again. And she goes, "Oh, we've been called because of, let's call her Chloe Masters." And I'm like, "Oh, what have I done now?" Obviously, like, I'm a week after I've given birth. Like, sarcasm is on fucking on point. And she goes, malicious communication. It's like, would you like to see the text messages? She goes, oh yeah, we haven't actually seen them yet. I'm like, okay, cool. So she reads it. And she goes, I'm at the wrong house, aren't I? I'm like, do you reckon? And she goes, so what would you like to happen? I'm like, oh, well,
just go away. I just want to be left alone.
Tell her to go and fuck herself and leave me the fuck alone, right? I don't
alone.
know the fucking woman. But that, to me, was the last straw. So I filed court paperwork. So I'm a law student. Mm-hmm. So I'm studying with the Open University. And I want to be a civil lawyer for women. Yeah. And hold people like Chloe Masters and Jasmine Mundy and all these other fucking arseholes accountable. So I was studying the civil part, tort law, which is what I would need to string her up on her ginger fucking balls. And she sends a response completely irrelevant to what I said, makes up more shit, says that she spoke to the CO and the CO agreed that she spoke to the welfare, and the welfare agreed to her with her, and apparently her husband.
What's her husband do? Oh, don't. Oh, God, don't. What's her husband
He's
do?
only a corporal. He's apparently not the best. He's, you know, he's just there,
He's
kind
just
of thing,
there.
right? So, but apparently he was on a senior NCO cadre course.
Right.
But he came back early.
Yeah.
So that means two things. You've either failed it or you left voluntarily, right? But who leaves voluntarily a few weeks before it ends? Nobody. She put in the court paperwork that because of my malicious communications, that he got sent home on compassionate leave.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's nan died, and the fucking cunts wouldn't give him 3 days off to go to the funeral. The amount of people that can't go to funerals because the army won't let them, or can't go to weddings, or can't do important shit.
Can't have a life outside.
Can't have a life. But you're telling me that your husband, who is on a senior NCO cadre course, comes back a few weeks before it finishes because I sent you a message telling you that you're a fucking ginger cunt and I know what you've done.
So
fuck off.
So that's her excuse for the way she's behaved, basically.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I want to know why. There's got to be a reason, or somebody whispering in her ear, as I feel like she's been thrown under the bus.
No, absolutely not.
So you think that it's all her?
It's her and AWS, her friend that's called her Cheryl Keane.
Yeah, so there's a friend.
Well, she's a supervisor and she works for AWS, who does the coffee mornings.
AWS?
Army Welfare Service.
Oh, right, yeah.
So they run a coffee morning on a Tuesday, and then Greenwich Home Start run a coffee morning on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So the allegation is, obviously it's going to be all talked about in court, because regardless of what she is saying, we are waiting for a court date. The courts are backed up still because of COVID.
There's a huge wait list.
So chill your beans, love. I'm taking you to court, honey. And if I get my way, there's going to be a jury.
I think it just needs to be. I think a lot of wives, including this lady, just don't understand the impact of their behaviour.
And what annoys me the most is she's on Instagram giving it the whole live, love, laugh. My kids are autistic. No, please, like, you know, I'm the best fucking wife, and all smiley and mate. I can hear your husband call you a fucking fat cunt 4 times a day because we share, like, our gardens are 2 away. So when your husband abuses you, I can hear that.
That's awful.
Like, I can I'm pretty sure you can hear when me and my husband are arguing.
But this is like going back to what we spoke about with that whole sort of whirlwind of perpetual abuse that just goes around and around in circles in the army, where, you know, these poor boys and girls that, you know, that go into work are being abused by their superiors, mentally, emotionally, sometimes physically.
I don't feel sorry for her.
And they bring it home.
I do not feel sorry for her one bit, because I have been abused. Like, I don't know. I don't know a woman.
I didn't do that.
I do not know a woman that has been abused. Personally, none of my friends that have been abused that have been so vicious. Like, why are you trying to tear somebody else down just because you married a fucking loser?
Because she probably can't handle the
pain
that she's
not
in.
My problem.
Oh, I agree with you.
Absolutely not my fucking problem.
I agree, it's not our problem, but that will be the cause.
Absolutely, that probably is the cause. But I'm not going to be your fall guy because you're not woman enough.
And she needs to realise that. She needs to realise that there's a consequence. Well, she will if you get her to court, because it's a consequence of her behaviour.
She should be going to jail. So the good thing is courts don't like perjury. That's one thing courts will always get you on, is perjury. She's got 17 counts of perjury in her statement, in one statement alone, 17 counts of perjury. So unless the army are going to help and pay the judge off, that woman should be going to jail for at least 6 months. And so that means I can only get money from her as a compensation, which I am going for. 1000%. I don't care that she hasn't got it. The fact is, you are going to pay for what you have done, right? And then the judge, because she's lying in court, it's perjury. The judge can then send her to jail. And one count of perjury is anything between 6 months and 2 years. She's got 17 counts. I'm hoping that she'll go down for 2 years, and I don't care, because
I don't think I've ever heard of, I'm trying to think back, and I don't think I've ever heard of like civil law cases between the wives before on this kind of aspect. Have you?
I have.
Have
you? So
in the UK?
In the UK, there was an army wife. I don't know the ins and outs because it was the social worker that told me. Let's call her Louise Russell, from Polaris, who I'm suing as well. She told me that there was an army wife in the UK while her husband was on tour. She was bullied relentlessly by the regiment, by the wives, and she got a £2 million payout. The problem is with these kind of cases, women don't speak out. You just have to look at all my comments to see how vicious and vile.
Who did she take on? A wife or the MOD?
The MOD.
She took on the MOD.
She took on the MOD. So obviously that was then...
That's why she got paid off.
NDA, it was out of court, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So the regiment that we are still attached with now, PWR, they are currently in court because the bullying was so severe, they set a soldier alight in 2019. So, and I knew about that story. That's just one of many things that regiment has done in Germany alone. That would be a 10-hour podcast, but just Germany alone, let alone fucking Cyprus, and soldiers losing their testicles, soldiers dying, soldiers fainting or almost dying, soldiers fainting because OC King was doing some illegal freaking shit. The problem, what they need to remember is there is no confidentiality within the army. Outside, yes, because nobody's doing what I do. There are 1,000 freaking Facebook groups of wives complaining about the same freaking old freaking shit day after day after day after day. But nothing's going to change because we still have all the fucking bitchy wives around us and all the fucking arsehole freaking soldiers around us and all the arsehole freaking officers around us. But going back to Chloe and why she did it all, she went into the baby group and said, "You do not believe what I just fucking heard," and made a big massive deal about it.
Children.
Around children. According to her, around 14 other people were there having this conversation with her, and according to her, she was told by her friend, and her friend, he's now out the army. The soldier's now out the army, but her friend, who apparently told her all of this, was my husband's friend. So my husband messaged him and said, "We go the long way around. Like, why are we walking an hour around if we can cross through the field and we're home in 5 minutes?" He goes, "Yeah, we've never walked the long way around. What the fuck is she talking about?" kind of thing. And just lied and lied and lied and lied. I actually eventually spoke to the CO as well myself after like a year and a half. I had enough of it because she's still to this day slagging me off.
It's almost like it's like my gut feeling, because I don't know this woman, but you almost get the impression like it's that weird single white female kind of thing. I mentioned this to you before, didn't I? Because I'm repeating myself.
Yeah.
It's almost like a weird obsession with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I'm so obsessed with this person that they have things that I would like, or maybe you are the person that she desperately wants to be on the inside. Maybe,
be me. I am a nice fucking person. I want to do some fucking amazing shit.
Maybe
be me.
She sees your strength and your tenacity, and she's like, "I wish I had that." And she's developed this weird obsessional thing.
Well, she's not going to be me. If everybody would have seen on TikTok now that this trend that like millennials look the same age as Gen Zers, even though she is a millennial as well. But I'm 36, so I look
Yeah.
36. She looks like she's 45, and she dresses like that as well. Because when I saw her in court, the first time we went to court.
So you've already made it to a court.
Yeah, so the first court hearing was in the magistrate's court.
Yeah.
And it's just basically it's being bumped to the High Court, right? That's all it is. And
but sorry to interject, but surely that should say to her, baby, look, even the magistrates are putting this up to an actual higher court.
Oh yeah.
You really need to start paying attention. This is serious.
Oh no, she was accompanied by a corporal that I've never met before. He was all suited and booted, looked really smart. How you do for court, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm suited and booted.
Yeah.
I know how to dress for fucking court. I sit in it fucking enough. And she came.
What did she show up in? Please tell me not pajamas or something.
No,
You're a bit brief.
Birkenstocks. So she started. So I was on my phone and I looked up and I was just like,
open toe shoes.
Birkenstocks, open toe Birkenstock, with buckles.
Yeah.
And a really frumpy long maxi dress with a cardigan that didn't fit in any way, shape, or form, or made it with the outfit or what, in it. She looked like she just didn't give a shit.
It's giving as well from what you're describing that she doesn't understand the severity of
Absolutely
what's going
not.
on.
And then her friend that can act as a lawyer, litigation friend, I can't fucking pronounce it. I thought she was a lawyer because of how she was acting at first. And then
just paralegal kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and then, she was nothing.
Litigator.
She was just sat there and just was whispering in her ear every few minutes. And then this Chloe was banging on about how she has a police reference number, which I don't have, because she said I was giving a warning by the police. There is no evidence of that.
Okay.
So I've asked the police. They've come back. There is nothing. I've gone to 3 different police stations. I've called 101. There is no record of the cops even being at my house that day. But according to her, the police gave her 3 options on how to punish me. And I know. And that's in my court paperwork, by the way. She wrote that in my court paperwork. That the police gave her 3 options: to charge me, to warn me, or to give me a caution. And she chose a warning.
Punish you.
Fine. Okay. But where's the evidence? Right. So I asked for that. I asked for the evidence. And the judge was like, hey, sort it all outside, not a problem. So I'm like, okay, can I have it, please? Why? Why? So, well, I kind of need it. I need it. Well, and then her little friend, you don't have to give it to her. You don't have to give it to her. You don't have to give it to her. And then they fucking stormed off. I'm like, oh, why aren't you giving it to me? If you've got nothing to fucking hide, why aren't you giving it to me? It's going to come out anyway, you fucking prick. So, but yeah, and then the judge gave me 2 things to do. I can rewrite the particulars of claims, or leave it, drop it, and send it straight to the High Courts. With law, in law school, you don't get taught how to write particulars. That gets taught when you're out, when you're
paralegal.
But no.
When you're learning.
When you're learning on the job, that's when you get taught that kind of shit. So I don't know, right? So I'm going off by all that kind of stuff, and so all I had to do was rewrite it a little bit. That's all I had to do, because the law is very much you have to follow set pieces of rules first before you can get justice. Yeah. But the rules you have to go through are like that thick, right? So fine, the paperwork came, I sent it back off, done. She goes running to AWF, her little friend Cheryl Keane, and was like, it's been dropped. I won. It's all finished. Blah, 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 blah. Has a meeting with Cheryl Keane the day after or whatever it was, and is back at these baby groups.
But surely she would be sent paperwork from the court.
Of course. Well, yeah, she would have. we received the same paperwork. She just lied, like she always does. I emailed because we were both not allowed to go to the baby groups until the court case is solved. And well, Chloe lied, as she always does. Her
bizarre behaviour.
Yeah, the supervisor from AWS was all over her like a freaking mush. And bearing in mind, I'm not the only family that has issues with this Chloe. There have been several other wives who have put in reports about her because she causes issues. She is just a very much when people go to these groups and she's there, there's a divide, and people are like, you know, it's an awkward feeling. And when she's not there, they're all having fun or they're all loving life and blah 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 blah.
Right.
But anyway, she turned back up, but I wasn't allowed to go.
Yeah.
So I'm still not allowed to go. I'm still not allowed to go to any of these groups. But bear in mind, her children are school age. They are
on the school. School on camp.
We haven't got schools on camp,
right.
So they are in city school.
Right.
But yeah, her kids can't go there because they're not under 5, and you know, they're in school. But so she still goes for the socializing aspect of it.
Yeah.
Whereas my children are under 3, 2 under 3, and they are only allowed to go because of my husband. Because my husband now takes them.
This is going to be like, you're all going to have to tune in for the result.
Oh God, this is going to be months worth of gossip. It's going to be fucking hilarious. And gossip saves lives is
the drama. Is it me? Am I?
No, it's not. It's fucking Chloe Masters, mate. So yeah, but that's pretty much I saw her this morning when I was driving to you, like being all fucking happy and smiley with her husband. I'm like, that's not what your house sounded like last night, mate. So what are you fucking pretending for?
So sad, isn't it? When you know, it's like in the choir, I knew certain women. There's a persona that they have, and majority of women are definitely being like, even if it's like emotional abuse, doesn't have to be physical abuse within their marriage, and some of it is horrific and some of it is bearable, none of it is acceptable. But
most of us have it.
Oh God, yeah. And you know the wives that really have tough marriages, you know, because they're like literally on their nerves the whole fucking time. It's like they're handing you the coffee and it's like this, have a cup of coffee, and you're like, okay, I'll have the coffee. And I became one of those towards the end because my nerves were just so shot. Like they were obliterated because of what
we should really
happened.
All be given therapy.
Oh, what? Definitely.
It's not like the army or the military doesn't know that this happens.
No.
This has been a systemic
issue
I think they
for
decades.
Yeah, I think they do know what happens.
They do, they just don't care.
Yeah,
they couldn't give a shit.
I don't know if it... Do you know what I think it is? I think it's that old school kind of mentality of, oh, they'll sort it out amongst themselves. Wives will be wives, my dear. It's that kind of mentality. And that goes back to, well, just after the war, doesn't it? And that goes back to that whole, they'll deal with it themselves. They'll sort it out. It's that kind of mentality. And I think that's never changed. And they set up welfare and they try and be the help and all this
welfare is literally as useful as my chocolate
teapot. Yeah, it's like, what is the point of you being here? And you just sit in the office twiddling your thumbs, signposting people, dressed like
I can do. Why are you being paid 50-60 grand a year? To sit in your office part-time,
tap a keyboard,
and go, go to civic police. Go to civic police.
Is that what they say to you?
Yeah, go to civic. The amount of times that fucking welfare officer told me to go to civic police, it's like, I have done. Where is this getting me? This is a military issue.
And this is what I mean. I think the systemic kind of way of thinking, especially amongst the men in the military, is very much, you know, well, they're just wives. You're just a wife. They'll deal with it and let them. It gives them something to do. Gives their little brains something to do, doesn't it? You know, between the coffee mornings and the bake sale. And I think it's still that mentality.
I had flashbacks from bake sale that I did when I was 21.
I could make a really good cake by the time I left the army. I can tell you that for free.
I was really good at faking being nice.
Yeah,
biting my tongue.
I've masked my entire life. Yeah,
Yeah.
Biting my tongue definitely. It's like, yeah.
Do you know how often? Because I won't respect you just because you have a rank, right? I couldn't give a shit if you're a private or you're a brigadier, right? It doesn't bother me. It doesn't fluster me. You are a human to me. I did not sign on, right?
Exactly.
You are literally nothing to me. And my ex-husband can vouch for that, because when he stopped paying child maintenance and I had enough fucking arguing with him, I emailed his brigadier and his CO. So, you know, if anybody is having issues with their ex-husband who's not paying child maintenance,
you must contact the CO.
And
on that note, right, we're going to round this little section up. Is it Chloe? Who are you calling her? Chloe who?
So let's call the one that faked the call, Chloe Masters.
So this is the first series of Chloe Masters. Story 1, and we're going to round it up. I'm going to close that up, and because we're now going to do something about something else.
Yeah, which you'll find out, you know, when I post the next one.
Join us behind the wire.
Told you not to fuck with me.